A new From game is some of the best news we can hear at this channel. I want to take a look at the new teaser and try to focus on only what we can really concretely learn from it. I could speculate wildly about this being a continuation of From's past games or hidden lore connections to the Soulsborne, but I'm going to leave that up to the other guys, mostly. Miyazaki has made it clear that From is making new things, so let's go into this with that mindset. Starts with a fade in from black. Drums, sounds of stormy weather, a fire crackle, and a flute-like wind instrument plays. There seem to be a lot of Eastern or Oriental themes to this teaser, which we'll see more of later on. So this could mean that the drums could be taiko drums, a very pronounced, distinctive performance style of Japanese percussion. The wind instrument doesn't quite sound like a Western flute to me. Again, more Eastern, maybe like a bamboo flute. This is a bit of an odd connection, but compare the instrumental sounds in the teaser with this snippet of the original Naruto opening. Obviously, there are large thematic differences, but the drums sound pretty similar and the flutes especially do. What really makes me think they're essentially the same is that before major notes, there's a small lead up to reach the notes in both instances. That is a really unique feature not found in most other instruments. So this leads me to believe that these are some significant hints towards Chinese, Japanese, or Eastern in general themes and possibly a setting of such. The storm sounds and small crackling fire harken back to what we're familiar with in the Soulsborne franchise, of a dark setting offset by moments of comfort and respite in the form of bonfires. That's something we're fairly familiar with, except the possibility of rain and thunderstorms does show a bit of something new, as those aren't very typical in Soulsborne. But let's stop delaying and get into the meat of this 12-second long teaser. We open on quite an odd blood and bone mechanism over a table or manuscript of writing. In order, we see the bone handle piece turn, the rope go taut, and the coiled rope at center tightens and turns. As it continues to tighten, the mechanism or tool or whatever it is starts to shake with tension. It's being tightened to its absolute max. As this happens, we hear what sounds like an Eastern string instrument, maybe a guzheng. I don't know, I'm super unversed in Asian instruments and the pronunciation of that instrument. It matches the dissonance of the mechanism stressing under its immense tension. It is not too pleasant of a sound. And then nothing. Blackness. And the tagline, shadows die twice. I'll come back to this as there's a lot we just passed over. So the mechanism has a bone arm, a bloody rope, and what looks like post-16th century metal parts. It's really hard to say what it is. It could be a tool or a weapon. Some have said like the trick weapons from Bloodborne. And to be honest, we have seen a lot of normal tools used as weapons before, so I think classifying it as either isn't too big a deal. It definitely has the dark, death-based themes that From has become familiar with. The tool weapon isn't in too great of condition. The bone isn't clean or polished, it looks like it's covered in dirt and cuts. The string is pretty scraggly and frayed, and the metal is unpolished, tarnished even. This all points to a kind of decayed state of the materials, which is really something that's expected from FromSoft at this point. The only thing left to really bring up in this tool weapon is what looks like a kunai, or a Japanese throwing knife, stuck in the middle of the rope. This again pushes the Eastern setting, but also further strengthens the possible weapon combat focus of the game, especially having a weapon embedded within a tool like this. The kunai could possibly be at the end of the rope. The rope is being tightened so it might let out in a rapid fashion, expelling all that energy at once. There have been suggestions that this could be a proto-grappling hook, which the kunai and rope do lend some credence to. But it'd be unfair to completely rule out the possibility of this still being a weapon. Could even be both. And either way, this is something that seems to lead us down a road of significant movement change when compared to Soulsborne. A grappling hook used to propel yourself or bring an enemy closer could really expand our options to explore and survive in whatever world we find ourselves in this game. It really expands mobility. It looks like some kind of steampunk ninja tool for fighting, utility, or easily both. That about wraps up the main weapon tool, the foreground. Now for the background. The most prominent feature is the stretching wall or manuscript containing what looks like some calligraphy of either kanji or another Eastern script written vertically, as is often the case with certain Eastern scripts. Once again, Eastern setting. So I think it's fairly confirmed that we're getting a setting or at least significant influence of Eastern culture here. What's also interesting is that this feature isn't being respected at all. The table, wall, whatever it is covered in burn marks, shavings, debris, and what appears to be a chisel sticking in it. These and the small fire in the corner gives a bit of a workshop feel. We could be seeing the finishing touches of a craftsman finishing his work, finalizing this tool or weapon. And even if this is the case, the tool weapon still looks a bit decrepit. As we said earlier, the materials are frayed and very unpolished. Even this world's craftsman doesn't have the resources to make actually new, clean weapons or tools. This isn't too big a shocker, as they used a bone as one of the main pieces for the tool weapon. And lastly, the tagline, shadows die twice. I got a couple of thoughts on this. Shadows could mean ninjas, as we've already seen a couple pointers in that direction, and shadow is a term very fitting of a ninja, often depicted in black and acting in and from the shadows, an appropriate and fairly common moniker. Die twice makes me think of the souls mechanic of one death loses your souls or XP temporarily, and two deaths without retrieving your souls permanently loses them. Could be letting us know that this mechanic is returning, but there is definitely more to it than that. However, whatever that is, I can't really surmise, as I don't have anything else to go off of, and wild speculation wouldn't really help us. Lastly, there have been some comparisons to the font choice of these words as similar to that of Bloodborne, and they do look pretty similar. Past that, I don't really have a whole lot though. So we've gone through the whole teaser. What can we now conclude from it? I have a couple things. The familiar FromSoft themes of darkness and severity are present in spades, and the Oasis feeling that Bonfires brought also appears to be back. There is significant Eastern influence and could easily be the setting of the game. A focus on tool weapons, possibly similar to Bloodborne trick weapons, or maybe more of a utility focus like something in the sense of a grappling hook. And ninjas. I think this gives a bit of a clearer picture of what to expect from this game. Could it be Bloodborne 2? Sure. But I'm thinking it's something new, and also Sony's name isn't plastered all over this. Definitely more interesting than Code Vein in my opinion. Hope some of what I've said has gotten you thinking, as there's a lot to think about concerning this one, and that I've contributed some original thought to this, because I'm sure there are going to be tons of videos about this. I'll assuredly have more out as From releases more info, and this game currently looks like quite an interesting one. Thanks for watching, see you later. Peace.